Hey Jams of ExamsNet, welcome to the question series of ExamsNet. Students, you must have explored our website www.examsnet.com. This site is a great place for you to practice your entrance exam question papers because here you will find so many entrance exam question papers along with their detailed PDF solutions. And you must download our app. The link is available in the description box for the better preparation of your exams. So students, today we will be solving BitSet 2023 Shift 2 paper, okay? Today we'll solving BitSat, that is Birla Institute of Technology and Science Admission Test 2023 Shift 2 paper. So in this particular video, I'll be solving the physics part of the paper, okay? So starting with the first question of the physics series, that is question number 1. On a temperature scale X, the boiling point of water is 65 degree X and the freezing point is minus 15 degree X. Assume that the X scale is linear. The equivalent temperature corresponding to minus 95 degree X on the Fahrenheit scale would be. Okay, so first of all, this question is from the chapter of heat and thermodynamics. Thermodynamics, okay. Now, in this question, we are given two scales. The first one is X scale and the second one is Celsius scale, okay? So, we know the relation between these two scales. The relation is X minus X freezing point means freeze over X boil minus X freeze. It is equals to C minus C freeze over C boil minus C freeze, okay? Where X freeze and X boil are the freezing point and boiling point on the X scale, and C freeze and C boil are in the Celsius scale, okay? So first of all, X boil is given as 65 degree X, okay? And X freeze is given as, according to question, minus 15 degree X, okay? And um the temperature corresponding to 95 degree X, okay, and the T temperature is given as, in Celsius scale it is given as 95 degree, no sorry, in X scale it is given as 95 degree X, okay. So using the relationship between the X scale and the Celsius scale, let us put these values. So we write this X means this one, 95 degree minus X freeze. X freeze is minus of 15, minus 15 over X boil. X boil is 65 minus X freeze. Minus of 15, it will be equals to this C minus, and we know that C freeze is what? C freeze is 0 and C boil is 100 degrees Celsius, because water boils as 100 degrees Celsius and it freezes as 0 degrees Celsius. So C minus 0 over 100 minus 0, okay. So it will become minus of 80 after simplifying is over 80. It is equals to C over 100 into degree Celsius, okay. So from here we find that C will be equals to minus of 100 degree Celsius, okay. So let us say this is equation number 1. Now, using the conversion formula from Celsius to Fahrenheit, okay. When we have to convert the scales from Celsius to Fahrenheit, we write TF, temperature in Fahrenheit, is equals to 9 over 5 temperature in Celsius plus 32. So just put the value. So TF will be equals to 9 over 5 into TC is what? Minus 100 degrees Celsius. So minus of 100 plus 32. So from here TF will be equals to minus of 180 plus 32. So TF will be equals to minus 148 degree Fahrenheit. So the equivalent temperature as given in the question is minus 148 degrees Fahrenheit. This is our final answer. So among these four options, option D is the correct answer. Okay. Now next question 2. In a cuboid of dimension 2L cross 2L cross L, a charge Q is placed at the center of the surface as having area of 4L square. The flux through the opposite surface to S is given by, okay. So this question is from the chapter of electrostatics. Okay. So first of all, let us try to draw this cuboid of dimension 2L, 2L and L. Let us say this is a cuboid. Okay. It is having a dimension of, let us say 2L. This is also 2L and this is of L. Okay. This is like this, no? Okay. This is of L and this is also of L. Okay. So after placing similar cubic at the bottom, placing this cubic at the bottom, we get cube of side 2L having charge Q at the center. Okay. So from the Gauss law of electric flux, we write flux phi is equals to integration of E dot ds is equals to 1 over epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. This is the Gauss law in electrostatic. That is, the total electric flux passing through a closed surface is equals to 1 over epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. So the flux passing through opposite surface to us is given by flux is equals to, since a cube have 6 faces, so from one face it will be equals to 1 by 6 into q over epsilon naught. Okay, so this is our final answer, 1 over 6 q over epsilon naught. That is option D is the correct answer. Okay. Now next question 3. The ratio of thermal energy released in two resistor R and 3R connected in parallel in an electric circuit is, okay. So this question is from the chapter of heat and thermodynamics. Okay. So in this question, we have to find the ratio of thermal energies, okay, and in two resistor R and 3R connected in parallel in an electric circuit. So first of all, thermal energy formula is given as thermal energy. It is given as H is equals to P into T, power into time, and power we know that it is equals to V square over R, okay, into T. So since the voltage is same, na, they are connected in parallel. So we know that in parallel combination, voltage is same, okay. In parallel combination, voltage is same. So for the voltage, so voltage is same. So this H1 over H2 means of two resistor we have to find, na. So H1 over H2 will be equals to V square over T, V square over T over R, and for H2 it will be V square into T over 3R. Okay. So solving it, since V square T cancels out each other, R cancels out each other. So H1 over H2 will be equals to 3 over 1, means it will be 3 ratio 1. So among these four option A, that is 3 ratio 1 is the correct answer. Okay. Now next question 4. The frequency nu of an oscillating liquid drop may depend upon radius r of the drop, density rho of liquid, and the surface tension S of the liquid. Okay. As nu is equals to R power A, rho power B, S power C. The values of A, B and C respectively are, okay. So this question is from the chapter of units and measurements. Okay. So first of all, we are given frequency nu equals to R A rho B S C. Okay, where R is the radius of the drop, rho is the density, and S is the surface tension. So dimensionally, we can write nu is equals to R to the power A, rho to the power B, and S surface tension to the power C. Okay, since it is frequency and frequency is equals to 1 over time, so means it has a dimension of T inverse, na. So T inverse is equals to R. R is radius means length. So L1 power A density. Density equals to mass over volume. Okay. So mass over volume means M for mass and volume for L cube. So we write in place of density M1 L minus 3 power B, and surface tension. Surface tension we write MLT minus 2 means force over this length L. So we write MLT minus 2 over L whole power C. So solving it we get T inverse means T minus 1 is equals to M power 1 power C means 1 sorry, B, 1 into B na, B plus C for M, and for L it will be A this minus 3B, and this L C minus LC means LL cancels na, so L A minus 3B into T with T minus 2C, okay. So T minus 1 will be equals to MB plus C into LA minus 3B into T minus 2C. So comparing the LHS with the RHS, we get T minus 1 means it is T, so it will be equate with T only. So minus 1 will be equals to minus of 2C, and there is no M in the LHS, so this power B plus C will be equals to 0, and no L in the LHS, so this A minus 3B will be also equals to 0. So solving this we get minus minus cancels, so we get C is equals to 1 by 2. Now putting this value of C in this equation, we get B plus 1 by 2 equals to 0. Therefore, B will be equals to minus of 1 by 2. Now putting this value of B in this equation, we get A minus 3 minus of 1 by 2 equals to 0. This minus minus become plus. So A will be equals to minus of 3 by 2. So C is 1 by 2, B is minus of 1 by 2, and A is minus of 3 by 2. So we write the dimensions like minus 3 by 2, 1 minus 1 by 2, and 1 by 2. So from these, the correct answer is minus 3 by 2, minus 1 by 2, and 1 by 2 means option A is the correct answer. Okay. Now question number 5. A passenger sitting in a train A moving at a speed of 90 km per hour observes another train B moving in the opposite direction for 8 seconds. If the velocity of train B is 54 km per hour, then the length of the train B is. Okay. So this question is from the chapter of relativity. Okay, so according to this question, train A, let us say this is a train A, and this is moving at a speed of 90 kilometer per hour. Okay, it observes another train moving in the opposite direction. Let us say this is train B, it is moving in this direction. Okay, and its speed is 54 kilometer per hour, and this train A observe this train B for a time of 8 seconds. Okay, so we have to find the length of this train B. Okay, so since both are moving in the opposite direction, so velocity of B with respect to A will be equals to VB minus VA. Okay, so VB is 54 minus minus of VA means it will eventually become positive. Okay, minus of 90 na, so eventually it will become positive, so it will be equals to 144 kilometer per hour. Okay, now will this is velocity of B with respect to A. So it is kilometer per hour. So converting it into meter per second. So we write 144 multiply is 5 over 18. So we will get 40 meter per second. Okay. Let us say this is equation number 1. Now we time of crossing. Time of crossing is given at 8 seconds according to question. And time is what? Length of the train over relative velocity means VBA. So and it is given as 8 second. So 8 will be equals to length over VBA is what? 40. So solving it, we get length of the train as 8 into 40, that is 320 meter. This is our final answer. So among these four options, the length is 320 meter, means option D is the correct answer. Now next question 6. A projectile is projected at 30 degree from horizontal with initial velocity 40 meter per second. The velocity of projectile at t equals to 2 seconds from the start will be. Okay, so first of all, this question is from the chapter of laws of motion. Okay, now according to question, a projectile is projected at an angle of 30 degree. Okay, 30 degree with initial velocity, let us say the initial velocity v is given as 40 meter per second. The velocity of projectile at t equals to 2 seconds. So let us say after t equals to 2 seconds, we have to find this velocity. Okay, so first of all, initial velocity u is given as 40 meter per second, angle is given as 30 degree. Okay, so time of flight, we know the formula for time of flight, it is equals to 2 u sine theta over g. So it will be equals to 2 into u is 40 into sine theta, means sine of 30 degree, over g, gravity is 10. So solving it, we get t is equals to 45. Okay, so it means projectile, it is at the maximum height at t equals to 2 seconds. So at maximum height, the vertical component is 0. We know that when the projectile reaches it, the maximum height, at that time the vertical component becomes 0, vertical velocity. So, velocity at time t equals to 2 second will be equals to, let us say Vx, it is equals to u cos theta. So it will be equals to u means 40 cos of 30 degree. So it will be equals to 20 root 3 meter per second. This is our final answer. So option A is the correct answer. Now next question 7. The magnetic moments associated with two closely wound circular coils A and B of radius RA equals to 10 centimeter and RB equals to 20 centimeter respectively are equal if, we have to find the condition when these will be equal. Okay, so first of all, this question is from the chapter of magnetic effects of current. Magnetic effects of current. Okay, now we are given the magnetic moment associated with circular coil. So magnetic moment is equals to, we know that N into I, current into area. N is the number of coil. Okay, or number of turns you can say. So according to question, they will be equal if, we have to find the correct condition. So if they will be equal, then M of A, magnetic moment of coil A, will be equals to magnetic moment of coil B. So it will be NA IA into AA will be equals to NB IB into AB. And for coil A, this will be NA IA, and area is pi r square, and radius is 10 centimeter for A. Na? So 10 centimeter means 10 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter whole square, and it will be equals to NB into IB into area of B, means pi r square. R is 20 centimeter, means 20 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter whole square. Okay, so solving it, we get pi cancels, and this will be equals to NA IA will be equals to 20, 2 to the 4 means, and this will cancels this, so it will be 4 NBIB. Okay, 4 NBIB. This is the condition for magnetic moment of A to be equal with the magnetic moment of B, means NAIA will be equals to 4 NBIB, means option C is the correct answer. Now next question 8. A 12-volt battery connected to a circular coil of resistance 6 ohm through a switch drives a constant current in the circuit. The switch is opened in 1 millisecond. The EMF induced across the coil is 20 volt. The induction of the coil is. Okay, so this question is from the chapter of electromagnetic induction. According to question, we have to find the induced EMF. No, sorry, we have to find the induction of the coil. Okay, so first of all, we are given with the induced EMF. Na, so induced EMF formula we all know, it is equals to minus of L del I over del T, and it is given as 20 volt. So this will be equals to 20 equals to minus of L di over dt, means change in current. So first of all, let us say at initially the current is 0, and after finally it becomes 2 na, over this is time is 10 to the power minus 3 second, since it is given as 1 millisecond, to 10 to the power minus 3. So it will be equals to what so L will be equals to, solving it we get 20 into 10 to the power minus 3 over minus minus becomes plus over 2. So 2 10, so it will be equals to 10 to the power 2 tens are 20 na. So 10 to the power 1 minus 3. So it will be equal to 10 to the power minus 2. 20 into 10 to the power minus 3. Minus minus become plus over 2. So it will be 10 to the power minus 2. Not 3, 10 to the power minus 2. This is I. So using Ohm's law, we write V equals to IR. So I will be equals to V over R. V is given as 12 volt over R is given 6. So 2 6 are 12, 2 3 are 6, 3 2 are 6. This one is also correct. So 12 minus di by 0 minus 2 over 10 to the power minus 3 now. So this will, L will be equals to, wait a minute, 2L over 10 to the power minus 3. So this will be equals to 2 tens are 20. So L will be equals to 10 into 10 to the power minus 3. It will become 10 to the power minus 2 only. 10 to the power minus 2 Henry. Okay, not 10 to the power minus 3. So this is our final answer. Okay. Now next question. 9. Two bodies are having kinetic energies in the ratio 16:9. If they have same linear momentum, the ratio of their masses respectively is. Okay. So this question is from the chapter of work and energy. So according to question, we are given the ratio of their kinetic energy is 16:9. So we know that kinetic energy is equals to what? P square over 2m. This is a very basic formula for the kinetic energy. According to question, they are having same linear momentum. Same linear momentum means P1 is equals to P2. So we write K1 over K2 is equals to P1 square over 2m1 into 2m2 over P2 square. Since P1 and P2 are same, so 2 cancels, so it will be equals to M2 over M1, and ratio is given as 16:9, so it will be equals to 16:9. So M1 over M2 will become 9 over 16. This is very easy question. Okay, so option D is the correct answer. Now next question 10. The variation of kinetic energy of a particle executing simple harmonic motion with the displacement x starting from the mean position to extreme position A is given as. Okay, this question is again from the chapter of work and energy. Since we know that total energy is equals to what? Kinetic energy plus potential energy na. So from here kinetic energy will be equals to total energy minus of potential energy. Okay. Yes, so this total energy will be equals to half Ka square, and this potential energy will be half Kx square. So kinetic energy will become, taking half common, and since we know that K is equals to m into omega square na, so writing in place of K we write m omega square. So m omega square will be equals to A square minus x square. This is our final equation for finding the kinetic energy with respect to the position Ax. So among these, the kinetic energy is maximum when x is 0. This will become maximum when this x will be 0, and kinetic energy is 0 when this x will be equals to a. So kinetic energy versus this ax graphs will be a parabola. So for parabola, among these four, I think option D is the correct answer. Okay. Now next question is 11. Two identical particles, each of mass m, go round a circle of radius a under the action of their mutual gravitational attraction. The angular speed of each particle will be. So this question is from the chapter of kinematics. According to question, this is a circle and its radius is given as r equals to a. And there are two particles which are moving around the circle. So we have to find the angular speed of the each particle. Okay. So since the particles are moving around the circle, so there is acting a force, that is centrifugal force. So centrifugal force is given by F equals to m omega square r, and they are having a radius, they are moving under the mutual gravitational attraction. So this gravitational attraction must be equal to this centrifugal force. Okay. So we know that the gravitational force is equals to what? G m1 m2 over the diameter. So we can write G m, since both are having a mass m. So G m over diameter. Radius is a. So diameter will be 2a. So 2a, it will be equals to 2a square. D square na. Sorry, 2a square. It will be equals to what? Centrifugal force m omega square r, and r is what? A. So in place of r we write a. So solving it, we write angular speed. This m cancels. Omega square will be equals to g m over 2 to the 4 a square into this a. So this omega will become, angular speed will be equals to under root of this g m over 4a cube. So it will become 1 over 2a under root of g m over a. So the correct answer is under root of gm over 4a cube. Means option C is the correct answer. Now next question 12. Two resistances are given as R1 equals to this and R2 equals to this. The percentage error in the measurement of equivalent resistance when they are connected in parallel. So this question is from the chapter of units and measurements. Units and measurements. Whenever two resistors, let us say R1 and R2 are connected in parallel combination, so we know that the R equivalent is given as 1 over R equivalent is equals to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 for parallel combination. So R equivalent is equals to R1 into R2 over R1 plus R2. Okay. Now, the according to question, R1 is given as 10 plus minus 0.5 ohm, and R2 is given as 15 plus minus 0.5 ohm. Okay. So for percentage error, for percentage error, we can write this delta R equivalent over R square equivalent will be equals to delta R1 over R1 square plus delta R2 over R2 square. Okay. So this delta R equivalent over R equivalent will be equals to R equivalent, taking one power here, delta R1 over R1 square plus delta R2 over R2 square. Okay. Now just put the value. R equivalent will be equals to this R equivalent, it will be equals to what? R1 into R2 over R1 plus R2. R1 is what? 10 and R2 is 15. So 10 into 15 over 10 plus 15. It will become 150 over 25, means it will be equals to 5 3s are 15, 5 5s are 25, 5 6 are 30. So it will be equals to 6 R equivalent. Na? So in place of R equivalent, we write 6, and delta R1. delta R1 is 0.5. So 0.5 into R1 square. R1 square is what? 10 square means 100 plus delta R2. Delta R2 is 0.5 over R2 is 15. So 0.5 plus 15 square means 225. Okay, right? Just 225. So solving it, we get 6 into this 100 into 225. Acha, we can write 0.5, take common 0.5. So 6 into 0.5 over taking 25 from here common. So we can write 1 over 4 plus 1 over 9. Okay. So it will become 13 over 300. Okay. So percentage errors. For percentage error, we write R equivalent over R equivalent into 100. So it will be equals to 13 over 300 into 100. So 0 cancels. So 13 by 3. So it will be equals to 4.33%. This is our final answer. So option C is the correct answer. Okay. Now next question 13. In the given circuit, RMS value of current IRMS through the resistor R is, okay, we have to find the root mean square value of the current. Okay. So this question is from the chapter of alternating current. Alternating current. Okay. So we know that in this question, this XC capacitive reactance is given as 100 ohm and XL inductive reactance is given as 200 ohm. Okay. And resistance R is given as 100 ohm. Okay. So we know that the impedance Z is equals to what? R square plus XL minus XC whole square. So just put the values. R is 100 square plus 200 minus 100 whole square. So solving it, we get 100 square plus 100 square. So it will become Z impedance is equals to 100 root 2 ohm. So RMS value of current means IRMS will be equals to, from Ohm's law, we know that V equals to IR. So I will be equals to V over R, and V RMS is what? 200 root 2. So 200 root 2 over this R will be equals to impedance Z. Okay. So upon 100 root 2, root 2 cancels, 0 cancels. So it will be equals to 2 ampere, means option A is the correct answer. Now next question 14. If E and K represents electric field and propagation vectors of the electromagnetic waves in vacuum, so the magnetic field vector is given by, okay, so this question is from the chapter of electromagnetic waves itself. So we know that for an electromagnetic wave, the B magnetic field vector is given by 1 over omega, where omega is the angular frequency, into K, the propagation vector, into E, electric field vector. Okay. So this is the answer. So B will be equals to 1 over omega. K cross E means option A. Now next question 15. A thin prism P1 with an angle 6 degree and made of glass of refractive index 1.54 is combined with another prism P2 made from glass of refractive index 1.72 to produce dispersion without average deviation. Okay. So the angle of prism P2 is, okay. So this question is from the chapter of optics. We know that the equation for the angle of deviation of the prism, angle of deviation, let us say the thin prism or first prism P1. So it will be equals to delta 1 will be equals to A1 into mu 1 into 1. This is the formula for finding the angle of deviation delta for the prism. Even actually it is like del is equals to A mu minus 1, where mu is the refractive index. Okay. So as given in the question, we can write it as delta 1 for the first film or thin film, we can say it 6, where is the angle 6, and mu1 is 1.54 minus 1. Okay. Now for, let us say this is for the first prism, means P1. And for the second prism, means P2, this will become delta 2 will be equals to A2 mu 2 minus 1. Okay. So delta 2 will be equals to delta 2 will be equals to A2 into mu 2. Mu 2 is given as 1.72. Okay. 1.72 minus 1. Okay. This dispersion is without the deviation. Okay. So without the deviation, this del 1 will be equals to del 2. Okay. So 6 into 1.54 minus 1 will be equals to A2 into 1.72 minus 1. So solving it, we get A2 equals to 6 into 0.54 over 0.72. Solving it, we get 18 by 4 equals to 4.5 degree, means A2 angle is 4.5. Option D is the correct answer. Now next question 16. The torque of a force 5 iota cap plus 3 j cap minus 7 k cap about the origin is tau. If the force acts on a particle whose position vector is this 2 iota cap plus 2 j cap plus k cap, then the value of tau will be. So this question is from the chapter of kinematics. So we are given tau equals to 5 iota cap, 3 j cap minus 7 k cap. And for this, the position vector is given as r, 2 iota cap plus 2 j cap plus k cap. Okay. So we have to find the value of tau. Since we know that tau is equals to r cross f. This is basically the force which we are given. Okay. The torque of a force, this is the f. Okay. We have to find the tau. So tau is equals to r cross f na. So just put the values r cross f, I, j, k. R is 2, 2, 1, and F is 5, 3, minus 7. So just solve it. So first of all, this iota cap, 2 into minus 7 means minus 14, minus of this 3 into 1. So 1 minus 3, then minus of, since plus minus plus na, so minus of j cap, this will be 5, 7 2s are 14, minus of 14, minus of 5, then plus of k cap, this will be 3 2s are 6, minus 5 2s are 10. So solving it, we get tau is equals to minus of 17 iota cap plus 19 of j cap minus 4 of k cap. So from this, option C, that is minus 17 iota cap plus 19 j cap minus 4 k cap is the final answer. Now next question 17. If V is the gravitational potential due to sphere of uniform density on its surface, then its value at the center of a sphere will be. Okay, so this question is from the chapter of electrostatic potential. Electrostatic potential, okay. We have to find the value at the center of the sphere. First of all, we know that the potential due to a sphere is given by, this is the direct formula. V is equals to Gm over 2r cube into 3r square minus r square. Okay, this is the formula for the potential due to a sphere. So at the surface, this small r will become equals to capital R. Okay, so V will be equals to then Gm over 2r cube into 3r square minus r square. So it will become Gm over 2r cube into 2r square. So 2 cancels, this power cancels. So it will be equals to Gm over r. Let us say this is equation number 1. Okay, and at the center, this r will be equals to 0. So V will be equals to Gm over 2r cube into 3r square minus 0. So it will be equals to this power again cancels this. So it will become 3 by 2 na 3 by 2 gm over r. Okay. Yes, it will become 3 by 2 gm over r. So we have to find the value at the center of the sphere. So at the center of the sphere, its value is 3 by 2 gm over r. So 3 by 2 gm over r means this gm over r is eventually equals to v. From here, na, this is equals to v. Let us say this is v naught at the center. So v naught will be equals to 3 by 2 v. Okay. So option A is the correct answer. Now next question 18. Young's moduli of the material of wires A and B are in the ratio 1:4, while its area of cross sections are in the ratio 1:3. The same amount of load is applied to both the wires, then the amount of elongation produced in the wires A and B will be in the ratio of. Okay. So first of all, we know that the Young's modulus is equals to Y is equals to stress over strain. It is equals to force over area into original length into elongation of length. So from here, elongation of length L will be equals to F over A into L over this Young's modulus Y. Okay. Here L is the original length, delta L is the elongation. Okay. Since according to question, this F and L are same amount of load is applied to both the wires. Okay. This F and L are same. Okay. So for this length is same, load is same. So this will be same. So this will be cancels out in the conditions. So we can write YA, Young's modulus of wire A over Young's modulus of wire B as given in the question. They are given in the ratio of 1:4. 1:4. And area is given in the ratio of 1:3. So area of A over area of B is given as 1:1/3 na. So just put the value. So del L over A over del L over B will be equals to FL cancels out each other. So it will be equals to area of B over area of A into Young's modulus of B over Young's modulus of A. So this will be equals to 3 over 1 into 4 over 1. So it will be equals to 12. So the correct answer is 12:1. Okay. Now next question 19. A proton and an alpha particle are accelerated from rest by 2 volt and 4 volt potentials respectively. The ratio of their de Broglie wavelength is. Okay. So this question is from the chapter of modern physics. Okay. Since we know that de Broglie wavelength lambda is equals to h over p, where h is the Planck's constant and p is the momentum, we can write p as h over mv. This we can also write as lambda equals to h over 2m into k. Okay. Since kinetic energy equals to half mv square na. So from here we can write v square equals to 2k over m. So we can write v equals to under root of 2k over m. So we have put this value of v here, and thus we get this answer lambda equals to h over under root 2mk. Okay. So we can also write lambda equals to h over under root of 2mk, since k is the energy itself na, and we know that energy equals to charge into this potential v delta v, so we can write in place of kinetic energy q into delta v. Okay. So the ratio of the two particles means alpha particle and the proton, and where the potentials are given as, so we can write lambda of alpha particle over lambda of proton. It will be equals to under root of, since h is the Planck's constant, so h will cancels out. So we can write 2 mass of proton into this potential of proton into charge of proton over under root of 2 mass of alpha particle into potential of alpha particle into charge of alpha particle. Okay. Since in this question 2 volt and 4 volt, we are given potential of proton as 2 volt and potential of alpha particle as 4 volt, and we know that the mass of alpha particle is equals to 4 times of mass of proton, and the charge of alpha particle equals to 2 times the charge of proton. So just put these value here and we'll get our desired answer. Okay, so lambda alpha over lambda p, it will be equals to this 2 cancels, mass of proton means mass of write it as mass of proton only, and Vp yani 2 volt into Qp, write it as Qp only, over M alpha is 4 times of Mp into V alpha is 2 volt into Q alpha is 2 Qp. Okay, so this Qp cancels, 2 cancels, Mp cancels, so we get it as uh 1 by 4. It will be equals to 1 by 4 now. This V, sorry, it is 4, 4, 4, 4. 4 2 is 8. Yeah, 2 cancels. So 4, 4, 16 means 1 by 4. So we get 1 by 4. So it will be equals to lambda alpha ratio lambda P will be equals to 4 ratio 1. Means among these 4 given option A is the correct answer. Now next question 20. The angular momentum for the electron in Bohr's orbit is L. If the angular momentum is assumed to revolve in second orbit of hydrogen atom, then the change in angular momentum will be. So again, this question is from the chapter of modern physics. We know that from the Bohr's quantization rule, whenever an electron revolves in an orbit around the nucleus, its angular momentum L, it is equals to integral momentum of NH over 2 pi. This is the Bohr's quantization rule. Na? So for L1, we can write n means first orbit. First of all, it is assumed to be revolving in first orbit. So 1 into h over 2 pi. So let us say this is equals to h L na? And for second orbit, n will become 2. So L2 will be equals to 2h over 2 pi. Let us say it is 2L. So hence change in the angular momentum delta L will be equals to L2 minus L1. So 2L minus L, it is equals to L only. Okay. So option C is the correct answer. So the next question of this series is question number 21. A hypothetical gas expands adiabatically such that its volume changes from 8 liters to 27 liters. If the ratio of the final pressure of the gas to initial pressure of the gas is 16 by 81, then we have to find the ratio of Cp over Cv. Okay. So this Cp over Cv means specific heat at constant pressure to specific heat at constant volume. Okay. So champs, first of all, this question is from the chapter of kinetic theory of gases. Kinetic theory of gases. Okay. So in the question, we are given that the gas expands adiabatically and its volume changes from 8 to 27 liters. So in adiabatic process, we know that PV gamma is equals to constant for an adiabatic process. So for the changes in the volume, we can write a P1 V1 gamma is equals to P2 V2 gamma. Okay. And the volume changes from 8 to 27 liters. Okay, so for this we can write P1 over P2 is equals to V2 over V1 into gamma. So V2 is what, 27, and V1 is 18. So we can write, sorry, 8, 27 over 8 whole power gamma. Okay. And in this question, we are given the ratio of final pressure to the initial pressure. It is 16 by 81. So just put the value of 16 by 81 in place of P1 over P2. So we can write over here 81 by 16. Na? Yeah, because it is P1 to P2. Na? So we can write 81 over 16 is equals to 27 by 8 raised to the power gamma. So 18 by 16 is what? 2 9s are 18, 2 8s 16, 9 by 8 sorry, it is 81 na, so it will be 9 by 4, not 9 by 8. 9 by 4 whole square, it will be equals to 9 into 3 over 4 into 2 raised to the power gamma. Okay, so this will be equals to 9 over 4, 2 minus gamma, it will be equals to 3 by 2. So this can be simplified as 9 by 4, 2 minus gamma is equals to 9 by 4 gamma by 2. So equating the powers, we get 2 minus gamma is equals to gamma by 4. So 2 is equals to gamma by 2 plus gamma. So it will be equals to 2 is equals to 3 by 2 gamma. Means gamma is equals to 4 over 3. So among these four options, the option A, that is 4 by 3, is the correct answer. Okay. We have used in this question the adiabatic constant, means PV gamma equals to constant for any adiabatic process. Now moving towards our next question, that is question number 22. A flask contains hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio of 2:1 by mass as 20 temperature 27 degrees Celsius. The ratio of average kinetic energy per molecule of hydrogen and oxygen is, okay. So this question is again from the chapter of the same kinetic theory of gases. Kinetic theory of gases, okay. Now in this question, we are given, we have to find the ratio of the average kinetic energy. So we know that hydrogen and oxygen are what? These are diatomic gases, na? And we know that for diatomic gases, the average kinetic energy is equals to 5 by 2 kBT, or we can write KT, where K is the Boltzmann constant. So average of hydrogen over average of kinetic energy of oxygen. So it will be equals to what? Hydrogen means S2 and oxygen means O2. So it will be 27 plus 273, means converting this degree Celsius into Kelvin. So just add 27 plus 273. So it will be converted into Kelvin only, over 27 plus 273. Since both are diatomic, so it will be equals to 1. So the correct answer is 1:1, means option B is the correct answer. Okay. Now next question, 23. A solenoid of 1200 tons is wound uniformly in a single layer on a glass tube 2 meter long and 0.2 meter in diameter. The magnetic intensity at the center of the solenoid when a current of 2 ampere flows through it is, okay. So this question is from the chapter of magnetic field and matter. Magnetic field and matter. Okay, so in this question, the number of turns given as 1200 and equals to 1200, and current is what? 2 ampere, I equals to 2 ampere. So magnetic field at the center of the solenoid is, we know the general formula for this. B is equals to mu naught and I, where mu naught is permittivity constant. So magnetic field at the center, H will be equals to B upon mu naught. Magnetic intensity, na? H is the magnetic intensity here, okay, and B is the magnetic field here, okay. So it will be equals to what? B over mu naught, means N into I, and N is given as 1200 and I is 2 ampere. 2 ampere, okay. So, and the glass tube 2 meter long and 0.2 meter in diameter. So it will be equals to what? And the current is given in terms of ampere, na? So just write 1200 into 2. So H will be equals to 12 to the 24, 00 ampere over per meter. Sorry, we have to find the magnetic intensity in terms of per meter, na? So for per meter, divide this by 2 meter long. After that only we'll get our dimensionally correct this magnetic intensity, that is ampere meter inverse. So dividing it by 2, so this 2 cancels, so we get magnetic intensity H is equals to 1.2 into 10 to the power 3 ampere meter inverse. Okay, so among these four, the option B, that is 1.2 into 10 to the power 3 ampere meter inverse, is the correct answer. Now next question, 24. Two radioactive elements A and B initially have same number of atoms. The half-life of A is same as the average life of B. If lambda A and lambda B are decay constant of A and B respectively, then choose the correct relations from the given options. Okay. So this question is from the chapter of nuclei. So we are given half-life, I think, na? Yeah, half-life of A is same as the average life of B. So we know that um, T half of A as given in the question is equals to T average of B. Okay, and we know the formula for the half-life of any radioactive substance, that is T half is equals to ln2 by lambda. Okay, and T average is what? 1 over lambda. Let us say this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So equating 1 and 2 for substance A and B. So ln2 over lambda A for substance A, it will be equals to 1 over lambda B. So for this, we can write lambda A is equals to lambda B into ln2. So this is our desired answer, means option C, that is lambda A into option B, lambda A is equals to lambda B ln2 is the correct answer. Okay. Now next question, 25. The logic operations performed by the given digital circuit is equivalent to. Okay. We have to find the basically we have to find the output Y, whether it is AND gate, NOR gate, OR gate, or NAND gate. Okay. So this question is from the chapter of electronic devices. Electronic devices. Okay. So in this question, this is NOT gate. Okay, means it do the reverse of any operation. Reverse, it means if it is 0, so we will get our answer as 1. If it is 1, we will get our answer as 0. Okay, so we have to find the Y here. So let us say this is point A, this is point B. So this will be, since it is an OR gate, so we'll get here A plus B. Okay, and this one is AND gate, so here we'll get A dot B. And this one is what? NAND gate. Okay, so for NAND gate, we will get A dot B, A plus B, their product. And since it is a NAND gate, so bar. Okay, and again here it is a NOT gate. So for this, we will get our Y is equals to, let us say here, the output is Z. So we will get Y is equals to Z bar. So it will be A plus B dot A dot B bar whole bar. So these two bar cancels out each other, and we'll get our Y as A plus B dot A dot B. Now using the De Morgan's rule, so we'll get here A dot B plus AB dot B. Okay, so solving it, Y is equals to AB plus AB. Since we know that A dot A is what? A, and B dot B is B only. So it will be AB plus AB, and AB plus AB will be Y is equals to A dot B. Okay, so the correct answer is option A. So it is an AND gate. Okay, now next question, 26. 8 equal drops of water are falling through air with a steady speed of 10 centimeter per second. If the drops coalesce, the new velocity is. Okay, so in question number 26, let us say R be the radius of the small drops of water, R be its radius, and capital R be the radius of the big drop. Okay, so now for a small radius, 8 drops are making a big drop now. So for it, 8 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. It will be minus 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. It will be equals to 0. So we'll get, we can write it as 8 into 4 by 3 pi r cube is equals to 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. So 4 by 3 pi, 4 by 3 pi cancels out each other. We get 8 R cube is equals to capital R cube. So capital R is equals to 2R. Let us say this is equation number 1. Okay. Now the terminal velocity for it. Terminal velocity. So terminal velocity Vt will be equals to 2 over 9 eta sigma minus rho minus sigma r square g. So Vt is directly proportional to r square. Okay. So from here, V1 over V2 will be equals to r over capital R whole square. So it will be equals to V1. We are given V1 as 10 centimeter per second. Na? So 10 over V2, it will be equals to 1 by 2. Since from equation 1, capital R is equals to 2R. So using here, we get 10 over V2 is equals to 1 by 2 whole square. So V2 will be equals to 40 centimeter per second. So this is our final answer, 40 centimeter per second. Okay. Means option B is the correct answer. Now next question 27. A bowl filled with hot soup cools from 98 degrees Celsius to 86 degrees Celsius in 2 minutes when the room temperature is 22 degrees Celsius. How long it will take to cool from 75 degrees Celsius to 69 degrees Celsius? Okay. So this question is from the chapter of thermodynamics. Thermodynamics. Okay. We know that the rate of heat flow is given as del Q over del T. Rate of heat flow is equals to minus of K T minus T naught. Okay. So del Q over del T will be equals to minus of K. Here T is the T average minus of T naught. Okay. So initially, let us say this is 1. Initially, T average is equals to what? T1 plus T2 divided by 2. Okay. So here in this question, T1 is what? 98 degrees Celsius and T2 is 86 degrees Celsius. Okay. So we can write MS into 12 over time is given as 2 minutes na? Over 2 MS into 12 MST na? So MS into 12 divided by 2, it is equals to minus of K. T average means 98 plus 86 over 2 minus T naught. T naught is 22 degrees Celsius. So 22. So it will be equals to, it will be equals to, this will be 2, 6 are 12. So 6 is equals to minus of K over MS into 98 plus 86 over 2 minus of 22. So 6 will be equals to minus of K over MS into 70. Okay, let us say this is equation number 2. Now cool from T1 dash. Let us say T1 dash is equals to 75 degrees Celsius as given in the question. Now how long it will take to cool from 75 degrees Celsius to 69 degrees Celsius. Let us say it is cooling from 75 degrees Celsius. So we have written T1 dash is equals to 75 degrees Celsius and T2 dash is equals to 69 degrees Celsius. So for this, T average will be equals to T1 dash plus T2 dash over 2. So it will be 75 plus 69 over 2. Okay. So for this, we can write MS delta T. Delta T is here 6 only, na? 69 to 75. It is 6 only. So MS delta T means 6 over delta T. It will be equals to minus of K 75 plus 69 over 2 minus of 22 as we have done in the above equation. So 6 over delta T is, it will be equals to minus of K over MS into 50. Let us say this is equation number 3. So dividing equation 3 by 2, equation 3 over equation 2. So it will be 6 over delta t over this 6 over delta t into 6. It will be equals to minus k over minus k over cancels out each other. So it will be 50 over 70. 50 over 70. So we get delta t as this 6 cancels, 0 cancels. We get delta t as 7 over 5. It is equals to 1.4 minute. Okay. So the temperature to cool from 75 degrees Celsius to 69 degrees Celsius takes 1.4 minutes. Means option B is the correct answer. Now next question 28. A capacitor of capacitance C is charged to a potential V. The flux of the electric field through a closed surface enclosing the positive plate of the capacitor is. Okay. So this question is from the chapter of electrostats. Electrostats. Okay. We know that from Gauss law. Gauss law says that the total electric flux is equals to closed integral of electric field over a surface is equals to 1 over epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. So here we write flux phi is equals to Q over epsilon naught. So charge is, let us say, capital Q and over epsilon naught. And we know that for a capacitor, Q is equals to C into V. So phi is equals to CV over epsilon naught. Means option C is the correct answer. Okay. Now next question 29. A single slit of width A is illuminated by a monochromatic light of wavelength 600 nanometer. The value of A for which first minimum appears at theta equals to 30 degree on the screen will be. Okay. So this question is from the chapter of optics. Okay. It is single slit. Okay. Monochromatic light of wave. Sorry. It is of the chapter of wave optics. So wavelength of the monochromatic light is given as 600 nanometer. 600 nanometer means 600 into 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Okay. So at first minima, sine theta is equals to lambda. So we can write A sine theta equals to lambda. And A sine theta is given as 30 degree. So A sine 30, it will be equals to lambda means 600 into 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So A will be equals to, this will become 1200 into 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Means A is equals to 1.2 micrometer. This is the desired answer. Means option B is the correct answer. Means the value of A is 1.2 micrometer. Now next question 30. The engine of a train moving with a speed 10 meter per second towards a platform sounds a whistle at frequency 400 hertz. The frequency heard by a passenger inside the train is, okay, neglect air speed, sound speed is this. So this question is from the chapter of relativity. We know that for this we will use the concept of relative velocity. So the relative velocity of a passenger with respect to source of a sound is 0, since engine of the train is moving with this speed towards a platform, and the frequency of the whistle is 400 hertz, and the frequency hertz by the passenger is sitting inside the train. Now this is train and the passenger is sitting inside the train. So the relative velocity of this passenger which is sitting inside the train with respect to the source of the sound, because the sound is coming from the engine only, na. So for this the relative velocity will be 0 with respect to that. So there will be no Doppler's effect. So the frequency will be 400 hertz only, because there is no relative velocity. So we can't use the formula for the Doppler's effect. So the the frequency heard by the passenger, since he is sitting inside the train only, that's why the velocity will remain the same. Frequency will remain the same, that is 400 hertz. So the correct option is B.